the 15th of May, Rabbi Furst, Ruth.
Good morning, Lord. Good morning.
Morning, Rabbi Furst. How are you?
Good
morning, Rabbi Furst.
Good to see everyone. Shavua Tov. Okay, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tzava Nafshi here in Yerushalayim, Zoom. We are now learning Megillus Ruth, our first shir in the morning. We are in the, let's see, we left off in the second parak. And let's see, we marked down which pasuk shall we begin with today?
I think it's your test.
Let's take a look. Okay. Tomer. Right, very good. Okay.
Your test, Perek.
Parak page, right. Second parak, 19th verse. Anyone like to begin reading today?
Well, I read the last time. If anybody else wants to take a turn, I don't. No?
Okay, I guess you can go, Barry.
Okay. Batemerla, Chamasa, Efa, Lakat, Hayom, Va'ana Asit Yehi Makirech, Baruch, V'tager, L'chamosta, Et asher Asta Ima, V'tomer Shem Hoish asher Asiti Amar Hayom Boaz. And her mother-in-law said to her, "Where have you gleaned today? And where have you worked? May he who took heed of you be blessed." So she told her mother-in-law who she had worked with, and she said, "The name of the man that I worked with today is Boaz."
Right.
I have a question. What's the difference between lakatit, va'ana, a seat? What's the difference between where did you glean today and where did you work? Isn't everything she did gleaning? I mean, if she would have just said there, "Where did you glean today?" We would, we would be happy.
Right.
But did she do two things?
Mm-hmm. Yes, says here.
Yeah, go ahead, Roy.
It says here, where did you glean today? Seeing such an abundant load, Naomi knew that the gleaning had to have been done in the field of a particularly friendly owner. And where did you work? Besides the gleanings, Ruth also brought back leftovers from the afternoon meal to which Boaz had invited her. Naomi therefore asked, where did you glean today, yielding such a large produce? And where did you work, even bringing back leftover food? That's from Igeris Shemul.
Okay.
And the quality of the leftovers made it obvious that Ruth could not have merely spent the day gleaning, but must have performed some extra work to have earned so sumptuous a meal. And it goes on a bit like that here too, but that's basically it.
Okay. Shkaya.
Very good. That's the answer to your question. Very good question. Very good answer, Roy. Thank you.
Oh, I
Okay.
have to say, I have to thank Art Scroll.
Well, okay. They also deserve thanks, Drew.
Mhm.
Okay.
So moving on.
Yes, I think so.
Vatomer Naomi. Bekalota. Baruch Hu Hashem Asher Lo Atev Hasdom Es Hachayim Ve'es Hamesim Vatomer La Naomi. Korav Lanu Ha'ish V'nu Aleinu Hu. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "Blessed is he of Hashem who did not leave off his kindness with the living or with the deceased." And Naomi said to her, "The man is our kinsman. He is one of our near kinsmen." Uh-huh. The plot thickens.
Okay.
I've got here the translation is a little bit slightly different.
Yeah.
The man is closely related to us. Naomi then said to her, he is one of our redeeming kinsmen.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Redeeming of the land.
No, actually, I should read the rest of. I should read the beginning too.
Yeah, please go ahead, Roy.
Blessed be he of Hashem for not failing in his kindness to the living or to the dead. The man is closely related to us. Naomi then said to her, he's one of our redeeming kinsmen. That's 20, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
It says me go Aleinu. So Goel is a redeemer.
Right.
I think it's either of property or of Yibum.
Well, that's what we have to try and think about. What was the point that has to be redeemed here? Where's the
Rabbi, I can't hear you.
yeah? Where's the introduction of this concept of redeeming here?
Is somebody supposed to buy back the land that Naomi lost? Is that the redemption?
Not sure.
I mean, something happened when Naomi's husband left his property, and he was in a foreign country. So what happened? He lost his land. In other words, it was by default. Someone took it over, or he sold it, or what happened actually? We don't. Are we told?
No, that's not clear. But let's see. He's a Kara. First of all, it was a Kara, right? Okay, that's simply a fact that he's a Kara, right? That's simply a fact. Okay, one second. mean, there's also this mention here that Naomi mentioned, right? What is it? What's Lo Yazov Chasto Es Chaim Es Amesi, right? What was this? What was this chesed to the Mesim that Naomi was mentioning here? Good morning, Mayor.
Oh, that would be great.
So I'm just saying is, probably you should have a phone in here in case she calls about that.
Okay,
I'll get it for you.
okay.
It says here that by doing kindness to the living, that kindness is reflected to on the dead as well. It's like doing kindness to the deceased relatives.
Right. So, and that was.
I mean, they were in a foreign country. How did Boaz have an opportunity to be kind to them?
But the thing is, they're referring to what's happening now, right?
Yes, I think.
Well, the kindness to the dead would be to restore their property, I guess.
Well,
What else?
I think it's also to do with liberal later on. With reference to that.
before you speak about this, they say it's shot what this is all about a little bit. Trying to get the. So they explain here that the reference to the Chaim is that they're giving food and sustenance to those who are alive, and that's amazing. Shenit Paul Bitachrihichen, which means, what exactly is this referring to? This is the Midrashim make a reference that this is referring to that when Machlo and Bekilyon were niftar, so lo yahalem tachrichim that they didn't have anything to be buried in. Halchu etzel boyez cheruvehem v'nasalem tachrichim. So they went to Boyez, and they got the tachrichim from Boyez.
For who?
For Machlon Bekilyon, the husbands of Ruth and Orpah.
They went all the way back from Moab to Eretz Yisrael to get tachrichim?
Yeah. Apparently, that's one explanation.
Who's it saying went back? Naomi?
Doesn't say who went back. Doesn't say. ויש שם את התור אשר לא עוזב חסד לעשות.
It doesn't seem to make any sense, Rabbi.
Why is that?
When Kilyon and Elimelech are all dead, then who's going to go back? It has to be Naomi.
Okay, it doesn't say who went back. Whoever went back, but the chesed that he was providing, I get what's this chesed that's been provided? What kind of chesed is provided with the Mason?
Well, I'm assuming that it's talking about the fact that he's helping Ruth. I mean, the neshama cares about relatives.
What do you mean that somebody cares about relatives?
But we say that the relatives of a person that has passed away can affect an elevation of the neshama through their deeds.
Right.
So by helping Ruth, he's enabling her to do mitzvahs. That's going to be an illuminating neshama.
Well, at this point we don't even know if she's converted yet. At this point.
Right.
Well, I would say this is evidence that she is.
Why would you want to say there's evidence here?
Well, because my argument is that when it says that he's doing kindness to the dead, it's referring to Ruth. Also, we see that she's referred to as the daughter-in-law, which is redundant. It says he is one of our redeemers, implying that he's redeeming Ruth and Naomi.
Well, first we don't know how we still don't understand what kind of redemption is being referred to here. This is a reference to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, not the Boaz whatsoever. Why do we have to say this is a reference to Boaz?
Well, it says the man is related to us. He is one of our redeemers.
Right.
So, you're saying he is Hashem?
No, it says Baruch Hu Hashem Asher Lo Azav Chasdo Esachai Vesamesi. That could be a reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu. Blessed is this person. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't give up doing chesed with who those are alive, those who are not alive. Could be a reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu.
But blessed is he of Hashem. You can't say he is Hashem.
No, but Hashem who does chesed with the Chaim and with the Mason.
Of Hashem, who is the Hashem who does kindness. Okay.
Right.
we still have the Redeemer is still Boaz.
Yeah, well, we need to, this is the first introduction of any concept of redemption over here. Okay? We have to try to understand what that's referring to.
But what is the mem doing on the word migolalo? Could have said ha'ish go alenu, right?
Right.
What is the role of the mem?
That that means the mem is from amongst our. He's not the sole person who's redeeming. He could from those who are our redeemers. Mem from amongst.
Okay. All right. So that strengthens the contention that it's Boaz. Because you wouldn't say that about Hashem.
No, the Goeleno is not referring to Hashem. That's clear, of course. That's not that. Only the Chaim and the Mesi is referring to Hashem.
Right.
The Goeleno.
So in other words, we could read it that blessed is Hashem who sent us Boaz. Sending us Boaz, Hashem is being kind to the living and the dead.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's one way of learning. Correct. That's right. Goeleno, we don't have a clear understanding of Goeleno.
The Yalkut Me'am Loa says that when you show kindness to surviving people, you're showing kindness to their deceased relatives. In other words, if you're kind to an orphan and you take care of an orphan, you're showing kindness to their deceased parents. That's what the Yalkut Me'am Loa says. That is the kindness that Boaz showed to Elimelech and Machlon.
Okay, that's good.
But apparently, there's some obligation of family to help lift up their impoverished relatives. It falls on them first.
That's correct. That's right.
Right. So I guess Naomi is saying to Ruth, that he's our redeemer, and he knows his responsibilities.
Right. Okay, look, let's leave the question of the Goeleno, how that's going to fit in. We're going to come back to this point later on. Let's continue on.
Atomer Ruth, a Moavia. She's a Moavia again. Gam ki amar alai im hanaorim asher li hidabakim ad im kilo eskol hakotzer asher li. And Ruth, the Moabite, said, he also said to me, stay with my youths until they finish my entire harvest. So she's been invited back.
Right. This is so
right. We didn't hear about that. Right.
Right. So, but now she's telling that to Naomi, and we learn about that as well. Right. Yes. Okay. It's interesting that this reference to the narim and the coat stream, it's interchangeable. Sometimes they call it the coat stream, sometimes called the narim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's interchanging. All right. Let's continue.
Yeah. In one of the earlier verses, it said that Boaz told her to stay close to the maidens. And now Ruth is telling us, he said, stay close to my workers or young men, I guess.
Right. Right. You see, somehow there are different references to that. I'm not sure. There must be some kind of a rule here why or some explanation why the references are changing.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, she made a mistake. She's not being familiar with all the rules of sneer. She thought maybe it was okay to glean with the young men.
Oh, with the young men. Yeah, maybe.
And Naomi is correcting her and saying, you go out with the girls.
Yeah.
I think that's a way to touch it up. Ruth is telling Naomi that Boaz said to her, "You shall stay with my youth." So maybe it was Boaz that said that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
She's not saying, Boaz said, stay with the guys and like she did, because that's what she did. When he gave her reshus to get extra food, that was only accomplished because she was right in with the men who were chopping everything down.
Right.
She wasn't way in the back with the people getting lekket,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean that's so not so Russ is kind of used to hanging around with the guys.
Well, I mean, the question is, where was she really supposed to be? Right.
Well, she's supposed to be way in the back with the other poor people who are gleaning the lekket and the pet. That was the original plan. But it was Boaz who said, you go right in where the men are working and just grab what you want. Because he said to the workers, don't leave her alone. Don't chase her away.
Yeah, in both psukim, it's referring to the Na'arim and Na'arosav. Now, I'm not sure how do we know that changes to masculine to feminine, right? Tidbak Na'arois, Na'arim, Na'arois, Na'aros Boaz. Na'arim is masculine. Na'arim is masculine. Na'aros is feminine.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, but in Dikduk, I think the plural masculine can also include the feminine gender. Because usually people only, when they speak Hebrew, they say only one. How can I say?
If they say Yelodim, they mean the boys and girls.
And girls, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't say
Yelodim.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Good point.
So I'm not sure from the psukim, it's not clear if there's a real change taking place or not, at least according to Dikduk.
Also, it's sort of like, how can I say, the game of telephone, where the beginning sentence that's said to the first person, by the time he gets to the last person, could be a lot different. So, maybe over the days or whatever, the weeks, she just, forgot and what he actually said.
Right.
Well, isn't she reporting what he said that the day before? And then she's telling Naomi at night when she gets home. So she's reporting what he said that day.
Well,
Right.
but she's also exhausted. She could be tired.
Yeah. True.
I'm sure we at night when we say things to our wives, maybe it's not exactly what we mean or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah, been there, done that.
Okay, let's see Chav Gimel. What happened in Chav Gimel here?
Vatoma Naami El Rus Kalasa Tov Biti Ki Tetzi Im Narasav Velo Yifka U Bach Besada Acher. And Naomi said to Rus, her daughter-in-law, "It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his maidens, so that they do not molest you in another field."
Right.
I guess. I mean, it would. I'm just assuming that when people, male or female, are out in the fields harvesting all day in the summer, they are dressed pretty scantily, right? Nobody's wearing a jacket.
Yeah,
Boots.
well,
They're probably wearing very light clothing.
could be. I mean, I don't know exactly. Maybe.
I mean,
Well, that's very true. I worked in 71. I worked on a kibbutz for a summer. It was non-dati. And just what Barry was saying, everyone was dressed in shorts and a t-shirt, basically.
right, male or female.
That's correct.
Right. Which makes sense. You can't be working all day in the heat with a long sleeve shirt on.
Right. No, exactly.
And a long skirt
Yeah.
and black stockings.
We were south of Beersheba, so it was hot. They used to wake us up 3:30 in the morning so we can get out to the fields early when it's cooler.
Yeah, before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
I get you only work till what, about 1 or 2 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah. Till lunchtime. Then they gave us the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
all right. Well, obviously, in Boaz's fields, everything was under control, according to Bedat.
I don't know. I mean,
Because the chashash is she would go somewhere else. But Naomi was saying it's good that you're with Boaz. That it's under control over there. Other places you can't be sure it's going to be under control.
yeah. Give me 1 second. Me there. Going to down.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Right.
I mean, it seems like it's a common occurrence that that when these scant girls worked in the field that the boys would bother them,
It could be.
because she says that they won't molest you.
Yeah.
Yifka'u Pogu. So Pogu means to get close to, right?
Yeah, encounter. They're like
Encounter.
Encounter, yeah.
Yeah, meaning that they're like pretty familiar. They get familiar with them.
Could be. Could be. But you see, Naomi was worried about it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she was happy that she was that Ruth was going to be protected under the watchful eye of Boaz. All right.
Besides, the fact is, it's interesting that all these other these are maidens, in Naros, and Rus is a middle-aged woman already. So
Right.
it doesn't seem too likely that these with all the young girls around, these young boys are going to be interested in Rus.
No, you never know. You can't be too careful about these things, man.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, let's see the next parsha.
Vatidbak Benaros Boaz Lelaket Ad Kalot Ketzir Hasaorim Upsir Hachitim Vatashev et Chamosa. She stayed with Boaz girls to glean until the completion of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest, and she stayed with her mother-in-law.
Okay, so this is very important. The Medrash says from the beginning, Matfilas Katzis Sa'orim Ad Kalos Katzar Achitim is Shlosha Chadashim. 3 months.
Whoa.
That's important, because if you remember, we saw the Brisker Rav that he was learning that the night that Naomi told Ruth to go bathe, right? So he was learning that that was her final steps in becoming, going to the mikvah, right? And because he said that you have to wait 3 months. There's a 3-month waiting period, right? So that would be very good if they were here now at the beginning of the harvest of the barley until the end of the harvest of the wheat. That would be a 3-month period, and that represented, right, when Boaz was there at that night, that represented the end of the harvest of the wheat. And that's a 3-month period, right?
But that 3-month, usually, if I remember correctly, the 3-month waiting period is before the conversion.
Well, yeah, so it could be that
Because you want to make sure, yeah.
Go ahead, Barry. What?
I'm saying because they want to make sure that the Ge'eris who's going to go to the mikveh for her final conversion is not expecting.
Right.
So there's a 3-month waiting period. If I remember correctly, if there is a couple, if she happens to be married at that time that she wants to convert, so the husband and her husband have to separate, physically live separately, to ensure that she's not expecting.
Right.
Because if she's already pregnant when they separate, then, in 3 months, they'll know.
Right. Because you have to know if the child that's gonna be born is a Jew or a non-Jew.
Right, right.
Yes, that's important to know. Okay, so, but we know, okay, that's gonna be 3 months. That's gonna be 3 months. One second.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
Okay. So now, yeah. No, so that's that's the end of that chapter. So now we get to the part where Naomi's telling Ruth to get all dressed up, and Boaz, that's kind of like little questionable behavior.
Well, we have to understand, we have to understand that. So actually, so we'll stop in a moment, but because I don't want to start the next paragraph till tomorrow. But that's the Alshik is explaining. Alshik explains, Modas those can Giris Royal and Isa Israel over right. Right. So these 3 months where that was the waiting period, which was necessary to make sure that she was not pregnant from anyone while she was still not a.
That's what he says?
Yeah, that's the Alshik.
The Alshik says that, okay.
Alshik says it right. And that would make sense going into the next parak. So now you're after the 3 months. Now they can actually begin to do whatever needs to be done. That if Ruth is now going to be a full-fledged Jew at this point, so then whatever needs to be done can be done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good. Okay, this is a good spot. This is a good spot to stop. We'll continue with this tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem. Third parak. And Roy, you should have a good afternoon. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Okay, Roy, take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Be well, all of you. I'll see
Okay.
some of you later on.
We'll take
Okay.
a short break and we have
Okay.
to Mr. Brewer in a few minutes, Mitzvah
Take a
Shem.
break. Break
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Thank you, Rabbi Furst.